Hi, all my gorgeous, wonderful, fantastic, amazing, peace-filled, wise, wonderful human beings out there. This is a video to share some of a little bit of my own story, and also some of the things that are happening in my own life I feel I want to share with you. And as I see it, sometimes or often the world can seem as though everything is a huge mess and you just have to hang on because the ship is sinking because the world is so mad and there are so many problems. But as I see it, and I don't claim to be psychic or in any way spiritually, I mean, I don't see things. I just feel very much in my heart that that this world that we live in and this whole universe is there is a really beautiful plan for this place, and for each and every one of us, we're a part of this plan. And it's not just a plan that's been made a long time ago and we're just sort of drifting along. It's a plan that's it's something that's unfolding right now all the time, and it's our Creator, God, or the light, or the wisdom, whatever you want to call it, who has made this whole place and is unfolding, and we're each and every one of us holds the light of God in us. And that's how I see it. And I think the major problem, well, the only real problem in the world is that human beings have not realized, or find it so hard to realize, how magnificent they really are. And it made me cry the other day, because it makes me so sad that really we are so magnificent, each and every one of us. No matter who we are, we hold within us so much beauty and so much goodness, and the only way we can unfold this is by opening up to it. And most of us are held down by the darkness, or you can call it many things, the ego. And the ego is like a false self we have, and it's always telling us we're not good enough, we're not okay. And as the world is the negative part of this world, it's driven by the ego, and it wants people to hold people down. It wants to fix everything. Fixate it, hold it into place. And it's really death, and what Jesus came to tell us 2,000 years ago, that we were dead, we were sleeping, and we needed to wake up. And it's the same thing that's going on right now. And when what happens really for us is that God makes it painful for us to be in the ego, and finally it gets so painful that either we die or we wake up. And when we wake up, everything changes, because then we realize how incredibly precious and beautiful and wise we really are, and we can start using all the gifts we bring. The other day I was just shown this beautiful picture of a golden, it was a golden tray, and it was filled with this pile of diamonds that was shining. And I was sort of told that the greatest thing we're going to get to experience in this lifetime is this tray of diamonds, and it's something we bring. It's not something we're given. It's something we bring. And it's so beautiful. And as I've probably said before, I heard this sentence once, that if we could see our soul, each of us could see our soul, we would bow down and bend down on our knees because we have such respect for it. It's so beautiful. And that's really one of the reasons why I'm doing these videos, and it's actually been in my heart all my life. And so I can tell a little bit about my story. And as a child, I could sense that people just weren't happy, and I had this, I didn't know it, but I just had this feeling that that I knew that the world and all of life, that the driving force of all of life is love and joy and goodness. And so it was hard for me to understand why people were so unhappy and adults had so many problems. And it was very painful for me. And I tried to send over the message that life is good and you are good. And so it's been there in my life all the time, really, but now I can really unfold it through this camera because I can do it a little bit in my life here, physically, but I'm doing it much more through these videos, and I just love it. And the problem, it has been hard for me, and it's also been quite a lonely journey, because I found very few people I could really relate to, and often if I could relate to someone, they were much older than me, and I used to love being with old people. I just felt they had something really, really special. And people close to me who were very much in pain, usually it was mentally, emotionally in pain, I really, really tried to send over this message that they are beautiful and that life is good. And I just kept going. I kept doing it, and I really thought that if I was very, very nice to people, they would be nice to me, and everything would be good. But it never really worked. I think even people felt it was insulting, and I got to the point where I could feel that this is just useless and this is not healthy. And also I got to feel a lot of resentment towards me, and I did the other video the other day. To check it's going about the call You Are Great, where I mention how I suggest that if somebody is really not nice to you and nothing really helps, to step away from them. And I can tell you that I've had people like that, I mean many people like that in my life. And at one point, not many years ago, everyone more or less was resentful, was not nice to me, and I felt that all the world more or less around me was trying to convince me that I was horrible. And when you're in that situation, I mean, that was really intense. It was just really, really intense. And you can't help thinking, is this really true? Am I really horrible? And is something really wrong with me? And I can see now that they were wrong. And but it was a huge learning process for me, and the big one was really to stay on my path. But there are several things I felt I learned, and the one is that God was trying to teach me to be tough and to be very courageous and to stand really, really firmly where I am. But all the time, always being sensitive towards whether I was doing the right thing according to my heart and according to God's will. So always sensing, is this right, and to stay on it, no matter how many people were screaming at me that you're bad, to just stay there. So he helped me. He trained me to be very strong and gave me a lot of courage. And I can see now that's what it was about partly. It was also about searching for love where God is, to really understand that no person in this world is going to fill you with love the way God can. So stop expecting that from people. And another one was to let go of people, and that was the big one, I think. To stop feeling sorry for people, because that was really driving me. The sympathy I had for people who were suffering, and it's still a big issue in my life, because people very close to me are suffering a lot, and you just wish you could just with a magic wand get them out of their pain, but you're not meant to. And if you can see that you can't share your life with them and have contact with them, you have to stop. You have to step away from them, and that can be really, really, really hard to say goodbye. And the people, especially one person in my life, I've had to do this too. I say to her that I'm going to meet you again. We're going to meet each other again in heaven, and I know that. And when we do, it'll all be love. And I've said this before, and that helps me so much, because I know that when all this pain is, when we die, all the pain and all the bad things that we might feel towards each other, they just drop off, because they're just part of this physical world. So I know this person who is very resentful towards me doesn't feel like that deep down, but she's locked in these feelings and she can't let them go. So it's very, very painful to watch, and it's really being in hell. It's human beings who are living in hell. As I see it, hell is here and heaven is here, and you can choose to live in one or the other. You can't live in both, and you have to give your life. You give your life to heaven or hell, and I want to live in heaven. I don't want to live in hell. I just don't want to live like that. So as I said before in the other video, when you let people go, to really, really not be resentful towards them, and just to really love them where they are, because they're doing their best, and it's just impossible for them to show their love. It just doesn't happen. So they are in the most pain. So this video is very much to encourage you to really, really walk your path, to allow yourself, no matter what it is you feel that is driving you and that makes you feel really wonderful, just go for it. And you might have many people against you, or things that are trying to stop you. And I just want to say, don't stop, because you're needed. You're needed here on earth. Whatever you feel is blossoming in you, and it can be anything, as long as the feeling is good and fruitful. It just sort of gives you a great feeling inside. Just go for it and cultivate it. So because definitely this world is meant to be a very, very beautiful place, and we can do that. And sometimes the tiniest change in your life changes everything. And it's the deep changes. It's the ones that you really, really feel, this is special, this is something I really have to do. Often you'll see how it just affects a huge area in your life. And another thing I got the other day I want to share with you, which I thought was very beautiful, was God saying to me, everything in life, we are so much in our mind, and we try to understand. We try to understand life. We try to understand love. We try to understand nature. We try to understand music. We try to, and we go and we are entertained by music. in a way we are detached from it, so we see it from the outside. But God was saying to me, don't try to understand life, be life. Just be it. And don't try to understand love, just be love. And don't try to understand music or go and see music. You can do that, but he was just saying, be the music. Sing the song. Dance the dance. Take part. Because it's all in you. And then you step out of your mind and you become this flower or tree that is just unfolding. And you feel how you're not detached and separate from all this, but you're actually one with it. You are life, and you are love. You are all these magnificent things. So let's return to the child state in many ways of our lives, and allow ourselves to just be and blossom as we are, no matter what is happening around us. So that's just to encourage you. And also I want to end off saying once again that you are all very, very special to me and make me feel so rich. And I haven't met you personally, but I just sense that this is very, very, very special. So just know that I sense you, and that you're very, very, very precious to me. So all you YouTubers, God bless you, and I'll see you soon.